Javan, great to have you with me on today's Spotlight. So let me introduce you to Javan Bramhall from Digital Glue. Over to you, Javan. Introduce us to your business, please.
Hi, Andy. Thanks for having us on Spotlight. Amazing to be here. So Digital Glue we're an integrated marketing agency who specialise in working with tech and innovation-led businesses here in the West Midlands and Birmingham. We help businesses with go-to-market, product PR, social media influence work, and paid advertising and SEO. Our specialism really is about helping businesses define that value proposition and what customers really care about, and then building campaigns that actually create action and impact for the businesses we're working with on the back of that insight.
Brilliant. Thank you. So what would you say makes you stand out from your competition?
We're fluff free, basically. We understand that good ideas delivered consistency lead to great results. Your clients, the people you connect with, Andy, they don't need budget busting campaigns. They don't, with no sign of results. They don't need lots of nice to haves and peripheries and brand books that are 25 pages that nobody ever reads. You need focused creativity, which translates into impactful marketing, and that drives results for business and clear ROI. So we're really hyper focused on that, Andy. There's loads of other stuff that we think we're really good at, communication and ROI focus and all those other things, but they're table stakes. They're the things that, frankly, everybody should deliver. So that doesn't make us special. What makes us special is real clarity on results and impact and not wasting budgets on fluff.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. And I think, a lot of people coming into your space and contemplating your service would maybe perceive quite a lot of fluff.
And I think that's exactly the point, right? Is that someone goes, oh, we're going to do this creative, we're going to set all this up, we're going to come up with some campaign, we're going to charge you for that. But actually, if you think about most business owners or marketing directors in businesses of growing and scaling organizations, they need results. Whether that's because they've had some investment and they need to prove the results to the venture capital or the angel they're working with, whether they're just an owner-managed bootstrap business who frankly can't afford to be wasting tens of thousands of pounds on marketing campaigns which they've got no demonstrable ROI, they have to get that result. So for us, it's about what's going to move the needle for you. So we do get to know a business, because you can't deliver good marketing without understanding the customers and what matters to those customers and getting that value proposition really clearly defined. So you can't do that. So we have to get that right. But once that's in place, what is it that's going to make a difference? Is it about that product PR that's going to mean that in your sector, people know you and your product, whatever it might be? Is it about that awareness with your audience in that social media, that influencer space, that, whatever it's going to be? Or is it going to be direct, get your website, delivering leads and sales? And it could be all of those things. It could be one of those things. It's just about getting it really clearly what's going to move the needle, what's going to give impact effectively for your business.
Yeah, great. So been around 10 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What about the next 5? What does the future have in store for Digital Glue?
Yeah, so I'll go into a little bit of marketing fluff here, just to but our vision is to maximize potential of everyone we work with, be it the people we employ and the clients we work with. And to do that, we want to be the leading agency for innovative tech brands here in the Midlands, basically. So we want to help those businesses generate careers, growth, and opportunity in the region. So we've got a strong regional base and understanding. Birmingham, the West Midlands, that's important to us, and we want to grow that region because we believe there's great potential there. We also want to grow as an agency, so that, because we believe we're doing great work for the clients we're doing, and we can only, if we're growing that, then we can do more of that great work and really have an impact for those organisations too. So over the next 5 years, we want to see good organic growth, probably doubling the size of the agency over the next 5 years. We're not looking to go 10x or whatever at this stage. It's about good organic growth that allows us to do more high quality work with businesses in this region.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been your biggest learning in your 10 years since you've been a business owner? Pick one.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what I thought. I thought the short answer is there's been so many, it's hard to say. And the answer, I guess, as well, will depend on when you ask, because any business owner will know what you're dealing with now is the most kind of is the biggest learning you're currently experiencing, isn't it? So I could probably talk for hours on this one, but I think the one lesson I've learned with more regularity than most. It keeps coming back, and something I keep learning and reminding myself of, because I think there's always that blinding flash of the obvious, is asking the right question creates the right results and the answers on the back of it. And very often in board meetings with groupthink and in around our existing contacts and network, we see a problem, we diagnose an issue, maybe in the business or with a client or whatever it might be. But then if we're using groupthink and we're not thinking a little bit more laterally, we ask the wrong question. And then 3 months, 6 months down the line, we've gone down a path and we're looking going, how on earth have we got here compared from where this problem was? This hasn't resolved the problem. And it's because we've asked the wrong fundamental question. So getting great advice externally, even if it's a one-off, but ideally on an ongoing basis, to give you clear third perspective on your business and the questions you're asking, I think is the thing that I've consistently learned, and maybe I haven't learned enough, but there we go. That's kind of where I go.
Right. Yeah, that's come up a few times actually, that external eye, if you like. It's really important, isn't it? Cool. Good learning. What about the biggest challenge? As you say, those two go hand in hand, don't they? But
they absolutely do. And I think as a business owner, and I suppose someone who's relatively entrepreneurial, my biggest challenge has been that achieving growth has been something I've been able to do. I'm entrepreneurial. I can see business opportunities. I look for chances. I'm quite, good with speaking to people and developing business. So we've been able to grow as a business, and that's been super. And we've got to a point, we're at 12 people now. We've actually been a little bit more than that before, but pre-COVID. But that's great. We've got to a nice growth point. But scaling has been, and getting scale and putting the things in place that they're different skill sets is the challenge. And I've having to learn and having to understand, because I think it's still ongoing, where my business skills as an entrepreneur are different to the ones that potentially might be required in order to scale and grow the business to the next phase, which is probably more around consistency, great systems, really good. It doesn't mean that there isn't a role for me in that business, but it means my role's different, and it's understanding how that my strengths play to scaling a business in comparison to growing it from perhaps bootstrap and very small levels. And I think the biggest challenge is understanding that difference and then executing it, and having the people around you who can help you with that execution of those things that perhaps you're not as good at. And I think that for me has been the biggest challenge, because I've, generally as an entrepreneur, relatively high D, bit of a focus on getting things done, achieving goals, all those other things. That's great, but actually sometimes you need those other skills as well to make sure we're actually going to achieve the things that the business needs overall. And I think that's been a real difficult challenge for me, which I'm still working through.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Good. If you were sitting then having a conversation with your 18-year-old self, what would you say? What would you tell yourself?
I'll stick with business, Andy. I'm going to go with, it could be a few things I might say myself about, how you might want to behave in certain instances, but we'll go with business. But I think for me, it would be more entrepreneurial early on. I always knew as a young man that I wanted to have my own business. It was always an ambition. I can't even tell you why. It was just an ambition I had. It felt like something I wanted to do. I didn't even know what it meant, really, if I was honest, at 18. What does that, we're honest with ourselves. But I think it wasn't that the years I spent in business and in industry were wasted, but I think I could have been more entrepreneurial early on. I could have been more, let's go and do something. Barriers to entry were low in the kind of work that I was going to be doing. I could have got on with it, and I could have probably learned some lessons faster. So I was a little bit tentative in going in, and I was a bit scared. I was looking for that corporate idea or working in these larger organizations. And of course, those help you. They obviously have benefits, but yeah, I'd be getting on with it, I think, if I was 18 again.
Yeah. Get that. Yeah. It's always an interesting question, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone anywhere, Andy, but I went with business. I thought that'd be safer.
Good. Yeah, much safer. Absolutely. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to other business owners?
The one piece of advice, genuinely, and I know who I'm talking to, and this is not paid advice from Andy Hemming, but get a business coach. It's ridiculous. I've had one since I was employed by other people. I was lucky enough that my boss paid for me to be coached. And since I've owned a business, I've always had a business coach. And I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't have one. As professional athletes, professional performers, you need somebody who's going to keep you on the right path, who understands what it is you need and is going to point you in the right direction. So that external advice and that external accountability are utterly crucial in being a successful professional, irrelevant of what you're doing. So that's what I'd be giving the advice on.
I agree. Checks in the post. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Shake later.
Yeah, really, really important. Anyway, we'll move on from that one because people will make their own opinion on that.
Slightly biased, but actually, I genuinely, as people will know in this, I'm not coached by you, Andy. I'm not a client of yours. I do have a business coach, but that's entirely separate to this conversation, and it's genuine advice. And I say it to everybody. So
yeah, absolutely. So my last question to you really is, let's say somebody's coming along now saying, "Oh, I want to find out more about this." What are the best next steps to take with you, Javan?
So I think, as I said a little bit earlier, the best next step is have a conversation with us around learning about your business. We can't help you if we don't know about your business. Yep. So you might have a challenge you've got at the moment. You might have a specific issue you're dealing with. You might think, I need to do X piece of marketing. But actually, very often when people come and say, I need to do X, the answer is often Y. So what I'd encourage is if you'd like to speak to us, have a 30-minute phone call. It's completely no obligation, free of charge. Hopefully give you some really useful advice. And if you think actually they're worth talking to for some further work, that's great. Otherwise, hopefully we've just helped you with your business. So I'm sure my details will be included, and feel free to pick up the call and get in touch.
Absolutely, yeah. All the details for Javan's business down there, website details, etc. So please do get in touch. Javan, thanks for sharing your insights with us today. Wish you every success ongoing with your business, and thanks for being part of Spotlight.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you having us.